Perfect. So hi everyone, I just want to welcome you all here today and thank you all for taking the time out to join. So my name is Leanne Young and I'm the Marketing and Student Recruitment Executive for the College of Business, Public Policy and Law. So this session today will focus on our postgrad opportunities that we offer in the area of accountancy and finance. So a postgrad degree is a high involvement decision which many will decide to do to improve the quality and quantity of job opportunities, to change their career path, or to develop their personal interests. And often people looking in the area of accounting are also looking to increase their professional exemptions and qualifications. So we are delighted you could join us today and we hope that you will be inspired after this session to pursue your postgrad studies with us here at NUI Galway next September. So I'm delighted to be joined here today by our programme directors in the disciplines of accountancy and finance and by alumni and students of the courses who will also share their experiences. So the format of today will be as follows. So I will give you a brief introduction to NUI Galway, our business school, and how we give our graduates a competitive edge. I will also briefly discuss our admissions process and scholarship opportunities available to prospective students. I will then hand over to the programme directors who will give you an introduction to their courses. Following the presentations, we will hear from our alumni Cathal, Prava and Connor who have joined us here today. We will then open up to Q&As between our panel and we will address any questions you may have. So please feel free to post your questions in the chat below at any point during the session and our team in the background will be able to respond to any queries you may have. So for those of you that are joining us for the first time and are unfamiliar with NUI Galway, here is our university at a glance. So we are ranked in the top 2% of the world university rankings and have been inspiring minds since 1845. Most recently, we were named as the Sunday Times University of the Year 2022. So the sense of community at NUI Galway was highlighted by the review panel. The university has been a defining presence and recognisable landmark in Galway City for almost 2 centuries. We are a research-led institution and are at the heart of a distinct and vibrant region. We are renowned for our unique culture, creative industries, medical technologies, economy and innovation. At NUI Galway, our aim is to build on your passion for learning and encourage and support your development to explore your areas of interest. Here you'll be given the support, knowledge, skills and self-confidence to achieve your goals and reach your full potential. We also have a high employability rating of 98%, one of the highest in the country. This is due to the fact that 98% of our graduates are within further education or employment within 6 months of graduating. So the J.E. Cairns School of Business and Economics, our mission statement is energised by a regional edge on the west coast of Ireland. We are a globally engaged school of business and economics for the public good that makes a transformative impact for students, society and business. So for the public good emphasises our dual focus on society and business. Through our teaching, research and public policy impact, we contribute to sustainable societal change in economic, social and natural environmental contexts. So we want to ensure that you are ready for the working world, your career and the world at large while supporting your personal, professional and academic development. You will be given the support, knowledge, skills and self-confidence to achieve your goals and reach your full potential. At NUI Galway, we've been delivering business education for over 100 years, and here are some of our recent awards and accreditation. So we are AACSB accredited, which is the highest standard of business schools worldwide. It's the longest serving global accrediting body for business schools and the largest business education network for connecting students, educators, and businesses worldwide. We are one in 5 business schools that have this accreditation, and it is in recognition of the offering at NUI Galway in terms of supporting your personal and professional development, our research-led teaching, innovative teaching practices, applied learning opportunities, global experience, collaboration, industry engagement, and work placement. We are also awarded the Athena Swan Bronze Award, which is in recognition of our commitment to advancing gender equality in higher education. Our MBA program is also AMBA accredited, and we have a number of programs that have won Postgrad Program of the Year. And today our accounting lecturers are going to talk to you about our extensive relationships with industry and the professional exemptions we offer within our accountancy programs. So fundamental to the business school as well is the global experience that students have at postgrad level. We have over 40 nationalities represented in our student body. It is great to be surrounded by students and fellow classmates from all around the world. By this, you are developing your cross-cultural awareness and management skills and learning how to work with people from different backgrounds who have previously experienced different styles of education and how they may approach tasks within group projects. So this opportunity to build your network with students coming from around the world benefits everyone in the class and creates a great learning environment for all students. The workplace is certainly becoming increasingly diverse, and so it's important for students to have these skills when they go into the workplace, and employers do recognise these cross-cultural awareness skills. So just briefly on how to apply to our postgrad program. So all applications are done online. We advise students to apply early as these courses are in high demand and offers are made on a rolling basis. So we review and accept applications as soon as we receive them. So it is advised to apply early. Typical documents required for your application will include such things as your passport or driver's license, official transcript or exam results, a personal statement, which is normally approximately 600 words. And for prospective students coming from non-English countries, English language competencies are also required. Some courses may have additional requirements such as references, CVs, video recordings, details of work experience, and your application will not be complete until all required documentation is uploaded. However, our accounting lecturers will talk to you about the exemptions form. And all the more information is on our website at nuigalway.ie/apply. And there's also a link on our YouTube for postgrad application tips and how to write an effective personal statement. So we also just wanted to make you aware of some of the opportunities that you might look to pursue to help you fund your studies. So we offer EU scholarships and funding in the form of first class honour scholarships. So this is a scholarship scheme that offers students a discount of €1,500 from their fees. And to apply for this, you need to have secured first class honours, so a 1-1 grade in your level 8 primary degree. And this discount will apply when you have been accepted onto a full-time taught postgrad program. We also have our business postgrad scholarships, and our accountancy and finance scholarships can be up to 50% off the tuition. There is also a huge amount of funding for international students, including our postgrad merit scholarships, our country-specific scholarships, our business postgrad scholarships, and Government of Ireland scholarships. And more information on such as country-specific scholarships, the information on these can be found on our website. So today we're going to be focusing on 3 of our accountancy and finance postgrad programs. Our program directors are going to be talking to you about the content of our programs, our relationships with industry, the exemptions that are available, the opportunities and the entry requirements for the programs. So first up, we have the Master of Accounting. So I'm just going to pass you over to Program Director John, if you want to take over there, John.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Leanne. Okay, welcome everyone. Okay, and Leanne's just showing the slides. They're showing the admission criteria for the Master of Accounting. Really, this is designed for people who have specialised in accounting in their primary degree, and we build on that. So the admission criteria would be shown in that slide there. First of all, obviously a business degree with an accounting specialisation. Secondly, you need to have full Cap 1 exemptions, and you need to have a 2-1 or better in your primary degree. Now, some people, sorry, Lan, could just go back for a second, please. Sorry, Lan. I just want to mention one exception there to the exemptions requirements. Normally, people would have full Cap 1 exemptions coming in, but some people don't have the law exemption, and there is a workaround for that. If you haven't got the law exemption from our primary degree, you can set that as an external student either in May or September 2022, so that you have completed your full Cap 1 exemptions in that way. Okay, thanks, Lan. Next slide, please. Most people who do the Master of Accounting do so because they want to become our Chartered Accountants, and we've designed the programme in conjunction with Chartered Accountants Ireland, and we manage it very much with their close input. I suppose the big prize for a lot of people is that if you complete the Master of Accounting, you're then exempt completely from the Cap 2 level of exams. So once you go into work in the accounting profession, you've only one further exam to do, the final admitting exam, which you do 2 years after starting. In fact, the majority of people on the Master of Accounting programme are sponsored by employers. So if you're completing your primary degree now, many employers will make you a job offer, which will include sponsorship on the Master of Accounting and going to work for them afterwards. Now, quite apart from the kind of short-term benefit of the Cap 2, we feel there are some kind of longer-term pluses as well coming from the MAC. One would be just the long-term career advantage of having a master's degree as well as your professional accounting qualification. So in a sense, by completing the MAC as part of the process of becoming a chartered accountant, in a sense, you get 2 qualifications at the price of 1. The other thing I mentioned there is that we focus on the Master of Accounting on the development of professional accounting skills. And what I mean by that is not just accounting skills in a technical sense, obviously there's plenty of that, but also the softer skills which employers really value. So a lot of time spent, for example, students making presentations, students developing their technical writing skills, and developing their interpersonal skills doing group work with other students. We feel that the programme works quite well in that regard, partly because the class size, which is about 30-35, is optimal for that kind of work. It's smaller to be friendly and people working well with each other, but big enough to get some diversity in the group. Okay, next slide, please, Lan. What we have here is just an indicative list of the modules that make up the MAC. And in many ways, those are the kind of usual suspects that you might expect in an accounting degree. We have, for example, 2 modules in tax, 2 in auditing, 2 in financial accounting, 2 in management accounting, and 2 in financial management. But there are also some things there which are perhaps less obvious, but we feel are very beneficial for people's long-term career development. Just taking the 4th one from the end there, the skills for accounting research and practice, that really has 2 elements to it. One is that we give our students a very advanced course in Excel within that, which employers tell us is very valuable. And the other part of the skills module is interdisciplinary case studies. And the reason that's quite useful, we feel, is that many students after graduation, when they move on to the final admitting exam, they need to do interdisciplinary case studies as the core of that. So that's a useful competence to develop, we feel. And finally, at the very bottom, the summer schools. These are delivered, as the name suggests, in summer, straight after the semester 2 exams. And what happens there is that we bring in expert speakers from outside the university to talk to students about areas of emerging interest for the accounting profession. So the precise themes might vary from year to year, but just to give you a flavour, We've one on data analytics given by KPMG. We hope to have one on global taxation, and we have one on robotics as well. So we hope to give people some skills that are useful for their long-term career development, as well as their short-term desire to qualify as chartered accountants. Okay, thanks, Leanne. That's all from me.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, John. So next up, we have the Masters in Corporate Finance. So Patricia is going to lead this.
Thanks, Leanne. You'll see there the criteria for admission to the program. It's a 2-1 degree. It can be in a business, commerce area, or else we also accept students onto the program from diverse backgrounds. I suppose in general, our main requirement is that students are highly numerical coming into our program. So we are interested in applications from people in a computing, maths, physics, economics, engineering backgrounds. So once you can demonstrate that you have the academic ability and you are sufficiently numerous, we're delighted to have this diversity of academic backgrounds in our program. So you can move on there, Leanne, please. So this program is a blend of finance, accounting, and economics, and it has been designed in conjunction with our industry context to provide a solid foundation for a successful career in corporate finance industry. The industry is booming at the moment, and our main success criteria in organising our programme is around the employability. So this programme is very much focused on the employability of students. So in that regard, we are a member of the University Affiliation Programme with the Chartered Institute of Financial Analysts based in the UK. They have awarded us 3 scholarships, which we can offer to 3 of our students on the programme should they wish to pursue that CFA qualification after they've qualified with us. John mentioned exemptions. The MSc in Corporate Finance earns some exemptions from Chartered Accountants Ireland and also from ACCA. It's 6 exemptions from ACCA. One of the key selling points in this programme is the opportunity to gain professional experience in the area of corporate finance. So over the summer months, commencing in early to mid-May, students have the opportunity to complete a 12-week work placement. So of our last year's class, I think 17 of the 23 students went on a placement. We've been developing relationships with employers. So just to give you a flavour, Permanent TSB, Revenue, Ernst & Young, Fincovey, Northwestern, Allianz, Baker Tilly, Bank of Ireland, Davy were some of the organisations that participated in placements last year. We are supported on our placement process by the NUI Galway's placement office. They help students prepare their CV, they run interview skills workshops, they promote the placements with employers to create placement opportunities, and they work with employers through the shortlisting and interviewing process. So you'll see a list of indicative modules there. So COP26 has alerted us to the enormous challenges that the world is facing with respect to climate and environment and sustainability. And we're very excited on the MSc in Corporate Finance that we have some really relevant content. So this academic year, we've developed a new module. It's called Sustainable Finance and Accounting. So what it's doing is it's moving away from this idea that traditional capital markets, they focus on maximizing shareholder wealth. We're in this module giving it a broader context. What about the human capital, the social capital, and the natural capital? So in this module, we're looking at a multi-capital approach, okay? And I suppose to get students to be prepared for the realities of the new workplace, where we have to think about sustainable value creation. So in COP26, they talked about over 130 trillion of private capital. The equivalent of 40% of the world's financial assets are going to be aligned now to climate goals to try and help contain global warming. So we really, I suppose, need our graduates to have expertise in this niche area, and finance has a strong role to play in that. John talked about the summer schools, and as part of the MSc in Corporate Finance summer schools, which students take if they decide not to pursue a placement, we have a finance for net zero element, our summer school. That is delivered by Mr. Barry Gavin. He's a wealth of business experience around healthcare, renewable energies, regulated funds, and so forth. And Barry's summer school, it focuses on renewable energy, power markets, how we finance renewables, and this transition, which is so critical for the world to make to net zero. So along with the more traditional elements, the accounting, the finance, and the economics, we're focusing on issues that are relevant to students and make students highly employable. Okay, thanks, Leanne.
Perfect, thanks a million, Patricia. That was a great insight into the Masters of Corporate Finance, especially the work placement. So next we have the Masters of International Accounting Analytics. So Andrea is the program director of this. So Andrea, I'll let you take over there.
Thanks, Leanne. Hi everybody, and thank you for joining today. So just to break down the, sorry Leanne, if you just go back for a sec to the other slide. Yeah, the International Accounting and Analytics, something that I suppose from the outset confuses students is there's actually two different pathways on the programme. The majority of students who are part qualified, they will do our Pathway A programme. That runs from September 22 to July 23, but there is also a Pathway B option, and this is for fully qualified accountants. There's a full-time and a part-time option. The full-time option begins in January, February 22, depending on the academic year, and runs to July 23. And then the 2 years part-time is January 22 to July 23 and January 23 to July 24. The majority of people who take up Pathway B will do the full-time programme, but there is a part-time option available. So really the main difference, as I said, you have to be a fully qualified accountant with a member of a professional accountancy body to qualify for Pathway B. Okay, so for Pathway A, the admission criteria is a H1 or a H21 undergraduate honours degree level 8 in a commerce or business equivalent business degree or equivalent qualification. And what I would say as program director is we also would like to have a heavy focus on what I look for when screening applications is that you have particularly financial management accounting experience and also some auditing if possible. It's not a requirement, but we do like to see that coming through. And then, as I said, for Pathway B, you have to be a full member of an IFAC recognised professional accountancy body. And for any international students, we also have to have the IELTS score of 6.5 or equivalent if applicable. Okay, so why choose this programme? It is the first programme of its kind in UK and Irish universities to offer practical hands-on modules in audit analytic tools for accountants. So this programme is now it will be going into its 5th year of running. It's been highly successful to date among both Pathway A and B students. You know, a huge employment rate. It's designed, I suppose the main attraction here is that it's designed to equip us with the technical knowledge, but also the analytical and the critical thinking skills. And that has been what has come back from employers in both industry and practice, that really the accountant of old, the technical knowledge, while it's still as important as ever, we now need extra. We need these analytical and critical thinking skills, and there's a huge emphasis on different modules across the programme. So, needing to manage big data and take on broader management roles across a range of sectors. I myself and another colleague within the discipline, we're actually both doing PhD studies around the area of analytics and, finding out what's happening in practice, what's happening in industry, and bringing this back into our development of the programme. A work-ready approach is really focused upon. There's excellent employment opportunities available, and again, as with the other programs, scholarship options are available to assist with student fees. So the main, the unique features on the programme would be the employability skills. There's quite a lot of group work. As I said, we're focusing on analytical, critical thinking skills and this work-ready approach, particularly in the 2 summer schools. So I know we've already spoken about that. One is led by KPMG, and there's a major focus on auditing in that particular summer school, which I'm involved with myself as my PhD is in the area of audit. And then the second summer school is around robotics process automation. So this was launched 2 years ago. And as John said, we're also looking at a third summer school around global taxation and hoping to develop that within the coming year. There are exemptions available from ACCA. There's up to 8 exemptions available on the programme from ACCA. From Chartered Accountants Ireland, a big question I'm often asked is, which should between the Masters of Accounting or this Masters. The difference is there aren't as many ACA exemptions on this programme. There's 3 Cap 1, financial accounting, management accounting, and finance. So students do have to, students can come from more diverse backgrounds. They're not going kind of for the straight Cap 2 route, which they would with the Master of Accounting. There's also CMA and CPA Ireland. And as I said, analytics is a major focus. We have a lot of guest speakers coming in as part of our summer schools. There's a quote down below from Conor Clifford. He's the Director of Finance at Medtronic. He comes in and speaks to you on, really over the last 5 to 10 years, all of the transition that is happening as a result of analytics and how the role of the accountant must adapt to that. And as I said, that's really the focus of the programme. Around an indicative list of modules. So as I said, we have our focus on our technical information. So in order to gain our exemptions, we're looking at international financial reporting, our corporate finance, management accounting. There's various different modules spread across both semester 1 and 2 of those. We also have our analytical and communication skills development. So as part of this programme, we focus on Excel skills, and also we bring in Tableau for data visualization, which is used extensively throughout Big 4 firms and through our industry partners. And as Tricia spoke about, this year now we have an optional module on the programme around sustainable finance and accounting. The sustainability is, one of our key values here at the university. There's a huge emphasis going forward on this area. And we also link in with our business information systems department. So they deliver modules such as data science and big data analytics. And there's also 2 new modules, further optional modules coming on board this year, looking at Python or programming. So, if you're more inclined to really go down the analytics route, there are those options available. And then finally, after semester 2 exams, we have the summer schools. So both of the summer schools are compulsory on the programme. And, the feedback from students is always excellent on this. There's, as I said, quite a lot of group work. There's guest speakers coming in from practice and industry talking to you about all of the different employment opportunities available. And one thing that there's quite a big focus on going forward, and this year in particular, is around industry partnerships as well as practice. So, you'd hear about the Big 4, the Big 10 within Ireland and the UK, but there's also now on this programme we have more industry employers coming on board, and some of our past alumni have went down that route. And I've just put in a quote from Lawrence May, who he leads up the KPMG Summer School in Analytics. So you'll all, if you join the programme, you will meet with Lawrence, and he's an adjunct professor here at the university, so he has a lot of input into the programme also. Okay, so any questions, anybody, for any of the 3 programme directors? We're happy to to take them now. And we also have our alumni here, so they may be able to answer questions also.
That's perfect. Thanks a million, Andrea. It was great insight into the program, especially the industry partners. It's great beneficial for students on this program as it benefits them going on to apply for jobs thereafter. So I'm just going to come out of the presentation and ask our alumni to join us. So we have here today Cathal, Connor and Prava. So Connor or Cathal, if you're there, would you mind introducing yourself and telling us about your experience of studying at NUI Galway?
Yeah, thanks, Lena. Yeah, so my name's Cathal. I'm from Galway. I did the MAC in 2019, so just finished over 2 years. So I'm in PwC now in mergers and acquisitions, and just started my 3rd year there. I did my undergrad in NUIG as well, so I did Commerce with Accounting in NUIG, and then went straight through to the Masters, MAC, Master of Accounting in NUIG as well. So I've been in your shoes not that long ago. So if you have any questions, do ask. But I'll try to explain like the kind of rationale why I did the Masters and like the discussions around whether to do one or not. But the big thing is, if you're doing the Master of Accounting, you're probably going on to become a chartered accountant or to finish your ACA or ACCA exams. So the big thing for the Masters is you get your full Cap 2 exemption. So that means when you start work, you have no exams to do in your 1st year. But if you go in with just an undergrad, you will have to do Cap 2s in your 1st year. So I just finished my finals, my FEs, a few months ago, and that was the first set of exams I had to do when starting work. So I only had 1 summer of exams rather than having 2 or maybe 3 if you don't do the Masters. So that was my rationale. So kind of easier 1st year in work. Then there's loads of other, like, that's like the big thing. That's the big decision people make, really. But then there's loads of other things, like the Master of Accounting is this kind of smaller class size than you'd be used to in college. So that was really good. Like, you kind of get closer to the people you do the Masters with than undergrad, just because you're all together in classes all day, every day. You're all in the Cairns School of Business, which is nice. Like, you're based there mostly. And you get closer to lectures and stuff as well, I found. Like, it's more kind of hands-on involvement, like smaller classes, and they help you out more if you're stuck, asking questions. So I really like that rather than the huge lecture theatres you might be in an undergrad. Yeah, so I mentioned the Friends is good. Then specific to the NUIG Masters, they do some really good initiatives. So the summer school was mentioned. So you don't have to do a thesis. You can do your summer school instead. And it takes like month and a half between the 2 of them. And they were really interesting. So one was all about how data analytics is a transformative accountant. So I remember I did like my essay on that was like on how artificial intelligence is affecting accounting jobs, which is pretty interesting. And another really good thing to do, which I found really helpful when I started, was the Excel course that John mentioned. You do get good Excel practice, and it's a really big leg up when you start work, because everyone goes in with different Excel levels, and it's the first thing you'll be taught how to use when you join any accounting firm, is how to do Excel. So like, kind of knowing that is a really good step up, so you can start focusing on all the rest you have to learn. And that's kind of it from me, I think. They also did a good FE prep module, which did help when I was doing the FEs this summer. So that was handy. It's like they're already looking ahead to doing the finals. So yeah, that's it for me. Any questions, fire away, because I probably know what you're thinking or the decisions you're trying to make.
Thanks very much, Cathal. And I know, like you mentioned, that you passed your final FAE exams and you were actually placed 8th in Ireland overall. So congratulations on that.
Thanks. Yeah, I did.
Well done. Could you just tell us a bit more? I know you're an associate with PwC now. Could you just tell us a bit more of what your current role entails in day-to-day kind of tasks?
Yeah, so I'm in kind of like a smaller enough department. I'm in mergers and acquisitions, which is like part of advisory, but we're still all qualified accountants. We do those exams. So what we kind of work on is if one company wants to buy another, we would do the due diligence. So we kind of go in and do a financial analysis, write a report, and kind of come to a value for what they should or shouldn't pay for that company. So that's what I'm in. I did my internship in audit, so I've worked in audit before as well, but my graduate role is in the mergers and acquisitions kind of space.
Perfect,
Yeah,
thank
so
you.
yeah, a lot of Excel, and then
Yeah.
some of the newer data analytic tools. I was talking to Andrea about like we'd use Alteryx, we'd use Power BI, we'd use Tableau, we'd use other Excel add-ons like Power Query, Power Pivot. But yeah, like definitely using all those data analytics tools we talked about in the summer schools.
Perfect, thanks, Cathal. So we'll just, if Braha, if you're there and you could turn on your camera and microphone if that's possible. Hello. So if you'd just like to introduce yourself and share your experience of the Masters in International Accounting and Analytics.
Yeah, hi. Hi everyone. I hope you're doing well. So I come from India. I have done my BCom and MBA finance from India, and I had industry experience in Deloitte for a few years before joining Masters in International Accounting and Analytics. And the reason I chose this program, it was one of a kind in UK and Irish, and I also got my Asia partial scholarship for my master's here. And I really had a very good experience. And my program director, she was like a constant motivation for all the students. And it was a very interesting program. We had both accounting and analytical part in the masters, and we also had a summer school and everything. We had a chance to learn more about this big data and all the other aspects of analytics, not just accounting. And even in my work experience today, I'm seeing like using the Tableau and Excel and everything, and it definitely it is a very good aspect, and the employers are also like keen. There are a lot of career opportunities. I got my job when I was in my summer school, and it is a very attractive point. The SAP and KPMG summer school, everything overall, it's a very good master's, and experience was overall very great for me.
Perfect, thanks, Braha. And just what would you describe your experience of Galway as a city to study in, coming from working and living in India?
For me, we had an option, like, so I spent my first semester from India and I moved here for my second semester. Even though it was fully online, this program really keeps you busy. And I remember Andrea saying every time when we were like, there's too much of things going on, she used to say like, it's okay, it'll be like worth it once you complete it. So Galway is a very, like, everyone was very approachable, the professors and everyone. So it went on smooth. Yeah.
Perfect, thank you. So I see Connor there as well. So Connor, would you just like to introduce yourself and share your experience of studying the corporate finance masters?
Yeah, no worries. So I graduated I did the corporate finance masters last year. So unlike Cathal, I wasn't lucky enough to actually get on campus. I've only actually been on campus once, and I wasn't actually a student at the time. So I've never actually been to Galway, but that really never didn't take away from my experience on the corporate finance masters at all. So like my background is I did commerce in UCC, and then I went straight into the masters in corporate finance then last year. I suppose one of the big things for me was that I felt that, having spoken to Patricia and looked at a few other degree programs, like the corporate finance masters in Galway, it is extremely like industry focused. I know she touched upon that, but like the course is really geared towards industry, and it does take into account what employers are looking for. And I also felt that the course has a nice blend of like accounting and finance. Like a lot of finance masters are pure finance geared towards people doing maybe the CFAs or going working in stockbroking, or else you have, like, for example, called it the EMAC, which is very much pure accounting focused, where I felt that the corporate finance has a really good blend. In terms of the content, like there's a lot of like group projects and practical work to help build students like employability skills. So like teamwork, communication, and there's a lot of guest speakers as well, and that just lends itself towards the industry focus. The classes were bigger virtually, but I would say if you were on campus, they probably would have been smaller. But like the virtual world, like really did lend itself to asking questions. Like I think Andrea would have just passed me for whatever grade I got just to get rid of me because I was asking so many questions to her. So yeah, it really is a really good course. And I would say it's a good option for students who maybe don't have all the exemptions for the Masters of Accounting, and it is a good secondary option if you do say you want, like I'm doing the ACAs with EY, but it is a good option for people who maybe only have 1 or 2 exemptions and just don't feel like that they will have enough time to get all their exemptions for the Masters of Accounting. It is a good option, a secondary option there as well for those students. And obviously, Patricia said, there is the option for the people to do the CFAs. They have the scholarships as well. So, yeah.
Perfect. And thanks, Connor. And what would you say the key skills that you developed which are supporting your career as an analyst now?
Yeah, well, I think one of the big ones is definitely like teamwork, working virtually. Like I remember talking to people when we first started the online working, and I had a year of it because of college. So I was like, it was just as if I had finished college one day and just come to work on the next day. There was no real like integration period for me. I knew how to communicate with people virtually. I knew how to work online. And I knew how to work with people in different time periods, because some of our class, for example, were in India. Some of our class, one girl was in Boston. So you had to have team meetings at like different times to try and make it work. So that was definitely one of them. And the others then would have been like Excel skills. There's an Excel module, a professional skills module. There's a SAP module. Now I'm not sure if that's continuing this year, but so those are the main ones really, like communication, teamwork, organization. You have assignments due on a regular basis. With the online learning, there was often a lot more continuous assessments. So be working to deadlines on a more regular basis would help you work. That would correspond to the working environment when your manager's like, I need this today, this in 2 days time, this in 5 days time, and you've just got to be on the ball.
Perfect. Thanks a million, Connor. And I suppose the other side of university is like the social aspect. And I know a lot of you working on campus, but NUI Galway does offer like over 50 sports clubs and over 115 student societies. And hope next year when we're back on campus, our postgrad students will get to experience those. So if we have any more questions, or if anyone wants to turn on their microphone and ask questions to the panel, we're happy to take the questions.
I have a question to Connor. You said you did your undergraduate degree at UCC in Cork. Why did you choose the postgraduate at Galway and not in Cork?
Yeah, that's a question I got asked in an interview once, actually. So there was kind of two reasons for it. One of the big ones, as I said, I felt that the degree in Galway is much more industry focused, and this is like disclaimer, this is nothing against UCC. I love the university, did my undergrad there, but I felt that the corporate finance in Galway just suited me more in terms of it being more industry focused, and it had more accounting exemptions because I knew I wanted to do the accounting exams. but I wouldn't have had enough exemptions to go down Cahill's route of the AMAC. So I did want to get as many as I could, but so that's why I did choose that one. And there is more funding options in Galway as well, in terms of the €1,500 for the 1H students, and then there's a second one as well. I can't remember what it was called, a postgraduate scholarship. So there's just more funding opportunities as well, which it does like make a difference in the long run, because it is an expensive undertaking. So just on top of that, like if anyone is considering doing a master's, like make sure that you actually really want to do it as well, because I remember working from home, you have to want to do it, because if you're putting yourself through it every day, like you have to love it, because it is a lot of work and you have to really, really want to do it. And I found that all my classmates is a stark contrast between undergrad and postgrad. Like in postgrad, everyone's enthusiastic and actually wants to be there and contributes. I'm sure the lecturers will notice the difference between their postgraduate and undergraduate classes. I mean, like the undergraduate students, like some students may have not got their first choice and may not be happy and may not want to be there. But in the postgraduate, every student really does want to be there and is happy to contribute and learn as much as they can. So yeah.
Thank you.
No bother. And if anyone has questions like that they don't want to ask, I've had a few people message me on LinkedIn. So if anyone ever wants to message me on LinkedIn, Patricia, I can put you in contact with me as well. I'm happy to answer any questions after this or whatever.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Connor. If we don't have any more questions, we might close off the session. And I just want to thank all of the speakers and the program directors that joined us here today and taking the time out. So we hope you all found this session today informative, and that you might now have a clearer sense and insight into what program might best align to your career and development. So just to reiterate that we are here to support you throughout your process, and if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out, like Connor mentioned, on LinkedIn or to our program directors via email. And we hope to welcome you here as postgrad students at NUI Galway next September. So thanks everyone for joining.
Thanks, Leanne.
Great. Thanks, Leanne. Thanks, Leanne.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks, everyone.